Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G356093 must trade.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington, the host as always to my left, the former Husker tight end. As always, if you guys want to join in, as doing so on YouTube, shout out Christian. Very pumped up because we got Husker football tomorrow, Friday. Another night game, a Friday night game. No Lincoln High School football in the area tomorrow. Still be games out in Omaha, but everything's just set for everybody to get behind the Huskers tomorrow at Memorial Stadium as they take on 24-ranked Illinois. 402-464-5685. Comment through the streams. Chancellor Brewington, how's it going on a Thursday night?
Oh, it's going fantastic. I mean, Friday night football? What are we in high school? Come on.
I was going to say, I asked Mornay this. Do you like the Friday night football for college?
Yeah, I love it. Whole nation watches you. I love it. Whole nation watches you. That's what I'm looking forward to see. I'm looking forward to see a national stage for Nebraska. Everyone's been talking, is Nebraska this, is Nebraska that? And I have some bold predictions for the Illinois game that I will say on here tonight.
Yeah, I'm curious how high that spread got for Nebraska.
It got crazy.
Mine's not too crazy, but it definitely increased. I will say the closer we got to the game, the better I felt. And then I listened to Joe Klatt this morning, and I even had to pump the brakes a little bit on what he was saying.
Joe, hey, is Joe getting paid off? Is Joe Klatt getting paid off by Nebraska?
To hype up Nebraska.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, it's crazy. He's but to be fair, he was in before the season and he's been right.
No, we were right, Harrison.
Well, I was right. He was right as well. I can't take that away.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Let's just go over the Illinois preview. I just want to talk over logistics, Harrison. I want to talk about logistics. So when you look at Illinois, they went and played Central Michigan last week, Kansas the week before, and some FCS school.
Central Michigan.
No, the first week one.
Oh, this was week one, and then Kansas was week two.
Yeah, no, Central Michigan was week 3. Kansas was week 2. Week 1 was some
Eastern Illinois. I think
Eastern Illinois. Okay, so some FCS school, right? When you look at the Kansas game, now, Kansas is an interesting team because. My question is Kansas as good as Colorado? Or is Illinois as good as Colorado? Is Illinois as good as Colorado?
Is Illinois as good as I think Illinois is better.
By probably a small margin.
I'd give him a touchdown. Touchdown better.
If Colorado and Illinois plays, Colorado might beat them 4 times. Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say they're going to have some problems. I mean, I don't take anything too much away from Colorado. It's not a far spread, though.
It's not a far spread. Perfect. And so when I look at Illinois' past games, they go and play Kansas. Kansas isn't the Kansas from last year. Lost some pieces on offense. Still have a really good running game. I mean, that running back Neal is going to be a top 10 back in the nation, just numbers wise. He's averaging over 100 a game. Kind of like the Boise State kid is tremendous. I forget his name. Boise State's running back is tremendous. He's already in the Heisman race. But staying on Kansas, it's not the same Kansas teams from last year. I think, and their quarterback threw 3 picks.
Yeah, that's the other part.
I mean, it wasn't good. When you watch the football game, it was like that wasn't good football. It just wasn't.
I don't know what to think because I do love Leipold. I think he's a great head coach for Nebraska. Before we got Matt Rule, when we're moving on from Scott Frost, he was one of the guys I was like, I hope he's in the mix. Because I was really fond of what he was doing over there. And obviously last season was a really good start as well. This season, though, I can't put my finger on him. I thought Illinois was really good for being able to take down, and thank you, Christian. It's Ashton Gentry for Boise State.
Oh, yeah, he's nasty. He's nasty. Appreciate you, Christian. Christian, you was on the live earlier. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, but when they lost to UNLV only by 3, again, I don't think UNLV is a walkover program, but I thought Kansas would surely be able to take advantage in the run game. So I think Kansas is a little bit of an inferior opponent. But I don't know if Colorado was that good either. I'll be honest. Like maybe Illinois does blow the waters out of Colorado. Colorado's so one-dimensional.
Yeah.
That if you're Brett Bielema, you can scheme up a game plan to shut those guys down.
Yeah, it takes the right personnel.
And that's their best part of the personnel, in my opinion, is that secondary.
Yeah. I mean, I think we looked at it. They have like 5 picks, 6 picks already going on. But it's just something about this Illinois team. I mean, when you watch the Central Michigan game, there were some things there were some takeaways I see. I'm like, okay, well, this Central Michigan team, they could run the football whenever they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a thing where I'll put up the stats in a second, but it was never a thing where like, Central Michigan was, on offense, they couldn't move the ball down the field. I mean, they got at halftime, it really should have been 14-10. They had 2 opportunities. They actually scored on one play. It got called back on a little wildcat, little trap game. Other than that, I mean, they had opportunities to score. They just couldn't execute. And I'm sorry, but the offense coordinator for Central Michigan, I mean, my goodness. I mean,
not a fan of
pack your bags. Pack your bags, buddy.
That defense is playing good. I think there's a 5 or 6 sacks.
The Central Michigan?
Yeah.
They had like 6 sacks.
Yeah,
like so when I look, that goes to show. I'm like, when I look at, I mean, Central Michigan could get into whatever they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
They were stopping the run. I mean, they didn't. Illinois running back, number 5. I mean, Caden. Number 3, Caden Fagan or whatever his name is. I mean, he's slow as molasses. I mean, yeah, he's running in quicksand. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, I mean, Khalil Valentine, I would say, is probably a better back overall. But I mean, Caden Fagan, I think he's kind of got the seniority or the higher, whatever, politics, whatever it is. So, looking at what Illinois has to do for Nebraska to win, I mean, to beat Nebraska, I would say they have to stop something on Nebraska's offense, whether they take away the run or take away the pass. And I think that the number one thing they can do, I don't think they can stop Nebraska's run. Just based on schematics, they play a 5 down front. And for everyone out there listening, the 5 down front, if you get past the 5 down lineman, there's only usually one backer there, right? So there's only, if you get up to the second level, it's sayonara, right? And this isn't like I don't think they'll come out in that, because I think the DC knows, like, hey, like we're not the Illinois defense of like 2022.
I think it'll be a lot of 2 safety shell covers.
Yeah, and so but the thing is, what they're doing though is they're doing this show man play zone, show man play cover 2, inverted safeties, all this different stuff. I expect to see some of that. Show single high, play 2 high, like that type of stuff. Why? Because it confuses Dylan, a younger quarterback. But as far as like how Illinois would win, I think another key thing that a lot of people aren't talking about is last year we blocked a punt. And when you block a punt, it's a 90 to 92% win rate on the team that blocks the punt, right? So
on the recovery, you mean?
On the recovery, yeah. So if you get a blocked punt, someone blocks your punt, you have an 8% chance to win the game now. So your odds are in your favor. So if we can go block a punt, man, I'm all in. But let's say we don't block a punt. I think the number one thing is to play good special teams. I mean, IGC's been doing phenomenal. Make sure he's still, fielding balls, seeing balls good, under the lights, all that good stuff. Brian Buschini, we've seen great kicks. Last week we didn't really see him, but Colorado, I mean, pin one, I believe, at like the 4, then it caused, or 3, it caused Tommy Hill. They're backed up. Tommy Hill goes and picks the ball off next play. That's how the turn of events happen when you have good special teams. The only thing we need to clean up, and I think Illinois will probably scheme something up, and every team moving forward, since you've shown it on film, is the kick return.
I was just gonna say, like, that's the one phase of the game I feel the most nervous about. The special teams has been like a coin flip every time on which team won that.
Yeah, man.
We've won the defense and offensive side of the ball. We've consistently won 2 out of 3 phases of the game in those first 3 games. That's how you get to 3-0. That's how Iowa, as much fun as it is to poke fun of Iowa, they win on defense and they win on special teams every single game. So that's how they always get up to 8-9 wins, and everyone's scratching their heads. How do they do it? People just overlook special teams all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you in the Central Michigan game, the Illinois, I don't know who the kicker is. I'll look right now. We have to give him credit. We do.
Is he from Australia? Seems like that's the hot market these days for elite kickers.
Oh, kickers and punters. I mean, there are always some Aussie guys. David Olano.
I don't know.
That's
American.
Yeah, it sounds like, Olano. Was that Italian? No, but he had a 59-yarder. 59-yarder. That sounds right. 59 yards. 59-yard field goal against Central Michigan to close the half out in a terrible, and I mean a terrible 2-minute drive by Central Michigan. I mean, just awful. If you're any type of football fanatic, I mean, you're just looking at the offense coordinator. I don't know where he's from. Maybe this is his first time doing this. First time around ball, but yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Real quick here, let's just talk about the range this guy has. So field goals from 20 to 30, he's 2 for 2. From 40 to 49, he's 2 for 2. Excuse me, I skipped 30 to 39. He's 1 for 1. His only miss was 50 plus, and even then, he's 1 and 1 there. He's 1 for 2 from 50 plus yards.
1 for 2 from 50 plus.
Yeah.
I mean,
so he is 100% all the way from 20 to 50 yards out. 50 yards plus, he's 1 for 2. So they feel pretty damn good if they get across the logo there. When they get to that, R40,
right?
They feel good.
Yeah, and so defensive wise, so if I'm Illinois' offense, I know I probably can't run the football, right? I probably can't run the football. I mean, I'm looking at the Kansas game, 79 yards, 34 carries, right? Can't really run the football. Finnegan is averaging like 3 yards, 2.5 yards a carry, right? So it's nothing. And if you watch Central Michigan, the runs that Finnegan, the runs that Finnegan hit, I mean, they were linebackers on Central Michigan just blew the whole run fit, right? So it's not like he's doing anything spectacular.
Just missed assignments on defense.
Exactly. And the one thing on what Illinois does on offense is they do a bunch of RPO stuff and just run pass option. For people that don't know, when the box is heavy, they're going to throw it out there. And they got Pat Bryant and, let me give credit, Zachariah Franklin, number 4, number 13. Great playmakers. I mean, they're going to try to target 4 a little bit more. Although Pat Bryant had a really big game last week. Those two guys, I mean, when they spin the ball out there, Tommy Hill, Marquise Buford, Malcolm, Harzog, and Giff is going to be in some situations too where we're going to have to make sure we get those guys on the ground because they're elusive guys. They can make you miss.
Big game for John Bullock, I think.
Yeah,
just be the enforcer.
I like that.
I mean, because you and I, what'd you say the biggest thing about the defense they needed to fix? You'd probably say tackling, right? Because the yards after first contact for you and I it wasn't crazy, but it was enough for the defense to even acknowledge it in the post-game press conference.
Right.
So Illinois, I got to think they got better athletes. What I know, like last season, they only won 5 games. 2 seasons prior to that, they won 8 games. Brett Bielema is a great coach. He knows how to get good athletes. Again, you might say slower than molasses, but he's probably strong as hell. And if you don't want to wrap up, he'll keep falling forward, get 2-3 yards. And I don't care if it's 2-3 yards. Illinois, that's what they need to function. Like they need every bit of falling forward on those yardage to keep Luke Altmaier with something he can manage. I mean, he's a intermediate to short pass. That's where he's comfortable. You put him in a 3rd and long situation, then that's how you get to the Central Michigan sack numbers. And that's how you let guys like Ty Robinson, Nash, even some of the other guys out there, Jamari Belt, that's how you get those crazy sack numbers. Right. So I think it's going to be a game where you got to tackle. Don't let them fall forward for an extra 2, 3, 4 yards every pop because then they feel comfortable. And you just gave credit to their field goal kicker, and rightfully so. They don't need a ton of offense to get to scoring position.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be the D-line. I mean, it's going to be – I would say it's going to be similar – it would be similar, I would say, D-line play as the Colorado game as far in the pass. I just don't see Illinois at any time or any point being able to being able to run the ball efficiently.
Put on the headset for Brett Bielema. Like as you've been watching this Husker defense, like how would you attack it? Because the only weakness is they don't tackle very well, and like that's not a lot to work with as far as play calling.
Right. I mean, one thing I've seen is, getting in the RPO game caused some problems. Colorado game, it did. I mean, it caused some problems getting real spread out, putting John Bullock in situations where either he's playing the run or he's, catch him in a blitz, would spin the ball out there. So I would say splits by the receivers, spreading guys out, definitely has caused some problems. I mean, when UTEP was moving the ball, it was because of these wide splits. Colorado adopted that wide splits. You know, you had Travis Hunter all the way, you know, almost touching, you know, could slap hands with Matt Rule, you know what I'm saying? Like on the sideline. So, you know, all the way out there. So that being said, I think shots is the way you're going to win this game. If you're Illinois, you got to take shots. You got to be aggressive. But I was watching the tape and actually talking to some players, and they were like, man, every time they get in between the 40s, like they taking shots on first down. And so like it's almost like they use first down as like a throwaway down. Like they don't really like, you know, first down you might run the football. Like first down, they taking shots. And one thing that they do on defense or on offense is that they always get the quarterback outside the pocket. Why?
Why?
Because he's about 5'10", right? You know, Altmaier is about 5'10", right? So he probably can't see over the old line. So all the throws are sideline to sideline. Nothing's over the middle.
Yeah. Well, and that pocket doesn't protect well enough for him to sit in the pocket. Even if they wanted to dial up plays where it's like keep him clean in the pocket, the offensive line hasn't proven they can do that for him.
Right.
And he's not throwing a ton of bombs. Like you said, yes, he's taking some shots on first down, but he's mainly throwing like short, quick, intermediate throws, occasionally taking shots, and they're still not doing a good job protecting him.
Right.
And it's not like he's holding on to the ball for that long.
Yeah. They haven't been efficient offense. I would say in the old line has had some struggles, right? And I think what would open that up is a good run game, but they just haven't shown that.
Yeah, they definitely lost some stuff, and this is why I think I always got respect for Brett Bielema. I'll never overlook an Illinois team. He gets dudes to the NFL. He did last year.
Sure does.
He did 2 years ago. Like he's always going to be able to get good recruits. I think this year's a little bit of disappointing in that running back room, but maybe a big part of that is that offensive line just isn't doing their part. Because we kind of see that with Emmett Johnson. You know, if the offensive line doesn't do a great job, you might think, well, Emmett's just kind of slow. Well, he's just patient, waiting for the hole to open up. And when that hole opens up, he hits it at 100 miles an hour. You know, if you're the Illinois running backs, you are kind of just treading your feet in the backfield, waiting for a hole.
Okay, I have a bold prediction. Should I save for this segment or go to
we got like 2 minutes here.
I'll save for the next one. But if Nebraska wins this game by a dominant fashion, right? They put out a dominant performance.
Spread's 8.5. So you're saying like cover the spread and then some?
Yeah, I'm saying like over 14.
Okay.
Over 2 scores.
Joe Klatt take.
Joe Klatt take. Chancellor Brewington take. What did I say? 31-13. That's, 18 right there. There you go. 18 points. If they go 18 points, and I think like first quarter, they might get ahead 7-0, and then, it's 10-7 or 13-7 by half. I think it's probably going to be like that, and then we run away. But if we win this game, what does the landscape look like for Nebraska moving forward? As far as
like fans, players, coach.
As far as now, like the college football playoffs, the Big Ten, because Illinois is probably going to be the 3rd to 4th best team we play.
Indiana's going to creep up there.
Yeah, Indiana. Well, we'll see. We'll see about Indiana.
I'm dead set on Indiana. They're good.
Jeez, whose team are you on, Harrison?
We don't play them yet, but I'll tell you what, that offense is fun to watch. Indiana is a secret team that's going to be, I think, one of the bigger challenges for Nebraska late in the season, especially when you're circling USC, Iowa, Ohio State. Obviously, that's going to be the first real big game. Indiana might be the first real big game. Like that offense can move, and that's going to be, I think, a really good test for that defense. Especially for those secondaries, because the defensive line's been so good.
Yeah.
But Indiana's proven that they can actually have good enough pass protection to where they can just be explosive, and their run game's good too. It's a team that's going to be 2-dimensional in an elite way. I think for the first time Nebraska will see. That's a way too early preview, but if Indiana stays clean on injuries, that offense is legit.
What we got on YouTube right now? We got Christian saying, I'm wondering if our home crowd and scary defense crashing through the line turns Altmaier into an old Altmaier and he crumbles. I could see that happening.
As a defensive line just pushing the offensive line into his face.
Yeah.
Saw that with Caleb Williams a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out, money.
We saw a lot of that. But no, I think on the next segment, I have an interesting question to ask pertaining to Raiola and some of the things we're seeing out of him and moving forward.
Do you want to preview it now and let the commenters answer it, or we'll just start it with the next?
Start it with the next
All
one.
right. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling. What's brewing? Chancellor Brewington, former Husker to my left.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light south breeze. We'll see an afternoon high around 84. Tonight, clear skies with an overnight low around 59. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a convenient south breeze and an afternoon high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Arsenal tied Brighton 1 apiece, followed by Leicester City falling to Aston Villa 2-1. On the final game of Saturday action, Man City defeated West Ham 3-1. On Sunday, Chelsea tied Crystal Palace 1-1, and then Liverpool cruised by Man United 3-0. The top two teams in the EPL standings are Manchester City and Liverpool, both at 3-0. You can catch all these matches and more at McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping, thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. What's Brewing? Chancellor Brewington, former Husker tight end. To my left, Facebook, YouTube, Allo Channel 961 if you got Allo cable. And it looks like we are back up on Facebook. Finally got that rolling for us again. So if you guys want to comment through theirs, feel free to do so. You can also use the Name and text line. And Chancellor wanted to bring you guys in on this one, 402-464-5685. All right, Chancellor, you previewed it, but I'll let you go ahead and say it again.
Yeah, so I got a bold take. I don't know if it's bold. So Matt Rule alluded to he wants to have one running in a dream situation where they play 4 quarters of football. He wants one running back, quote unquote, Dante Dowdell, in the low 20s, and he wants another running back in the teens. Okay, so I could say Dante is probably our number 1. I would say he's number 1. I mean, I believe he has 31 carries, 184 yards with 2 or 3 touchdowns at this moment.
Only one fumble.
Which was,
I'm not going to, it's one fumble.
Yeah. It was,
and he's played great after.
Yeah. And it was what, UTEP?
It was the first game
of the year. At the number 2 spot, it'll be interesting. I believe it's probably going to be Emmett. But I think Ramir is that guy that if he gets hot, they're going to keep feeding him, and he's going to be that number 2 guy. Why? What are you shaking your head for?
I just like Ramirez lightning in a bottle. I don't know. I love that guy.
You got to find a way for him to get on the field. I think Ramirez, you mix him into the regular rotation, but you disguise him in some screen stuff. You disguise him in some third down stuff where he's getting the ball out the backfield.
I just like Smirk because he does this every year to us.
Huh?
He does this every year to us. It's like, you really going to leave him out?
Yeah.
He just has a great play. Because he was the one that made that crazy catch versus Colorado.
Yeah,
he makes the biggest highlight plays for us all the time.
You look at
every year.
2021, who finished that year out? Ramir. Who finished 22 out? Ramir. The only reason he didn't finish last year out was because he got hurt, after the first game, right? So other than that, in the first game, he goes and returns a kick almost, in Minnesota game. So he's
just dynamic.
Yeah, he's dynamic. So, okay, here's my bold take. I think Dante goes for over 100 tomorrow with about, 22. And we're going to have to clip this because I think this is going to happen. 22 for about 125, right? Second guy, I think Emmett's going to get about 15 carries for about 78. Just under 100.
So you said 125 for Dante. It's a 200-yard rushing game. Plus whatever Dylan or whoever else picks up on the ground.
probably Ramir. Ramir will probably have 40 yards in the receiving game.
We see Gabe Irvin and all on this one.
I think he has 1 touchdown.
I think this is one for him because he's that big muscle back, and we get into the red zone. Especially in that second half, we might get some rain. So if it gets a little bit wet out there, we'll just give it to the big guy, run people over downhill.
Yeah, for sure. I think. And he's talked about it. He wants Gabe to close out games and the I formation stuff. Well, we're gonna have a perfect opportunity to see if this is really what he wanted, right? We're gonna have a perfect opportunity to see that. I want you to give me your, and I'll give it after. I want you to give me your offensive players or player of the game and defensive player of the game.
Excluding Dylan Raiola.
Yes.
Okay.
Excluding Dylan.
Just because I think
it's pretty.
If I say Banks or Nayor, then it's actually probably going to be Raiola.
Right.
I could go with the running back,
Uh-huh.
but I just, I think the player of the game, not just based on stats, but who's going to have the biggest impact. I'll throw a wild card at you. Give me Fedoni.
Oh,
I think tight ends are going to be a big part of this game.
I like it.
Because like I kind of said before, I think they struggle to stop the run. I think they're going to have time to bring pressure. We've seen Dylan Raiola really thrive in the intermediate. I mean, that's when he's looked the best because of the crazy arm angles he can throw it at, the accuracy, being able to get guys on the move. I think this is a game where you see Fedoni, Borkcher. You can even throw our slots in there, our bigger slots like Bonner. I think on the outside of those lines, like we're going to have a massive advantage. And I think that's one where Illinois, they're going to want to bring pressure because that's the one thing about Dylan Raiola we haven't really seen yet. What does this guy operate like when there's pressure in his face? Illinois is surely going to try it because they're not going to just be patient. He's going to cut you up if you're patient. If you're not aggressive enough, if you're too aggressive enough, bringing it pressure from the outside, they'll cut it up the middle for a big run. So I think it's a big game for the tight ends. I think they're going to bring pressure and they're going to find Thomas Fedoni, Borkcher, and the likes, maybe some of those slots as well, finding themselves open a lot in midfield, maybe even running a guy over if they're running some shell type of coverage.
Okay. Defense.
Defense, give it back to Ty. I think this is back to the defensive front. Central Michigan was able to get pressure. We saw what it looks like against Colorado. If you got a weak offensive line, Luke Altmaier, I don't think he operates very well in pressure. Keep him on the move. He can make some short throws, but especially if they want to take shots first and long, like I think they probably do their homework. They understand that. I think there'll be times where we get pressure, just bringing 4. So I'm going always back to the defensive front until they prove me wrong. I mean, you can speak on this. How much of a game breaker is that when your quarterback's just immediately uncomfortable and he loses faith in the offensive line in that first quarter?
Oh yeah, it's immediate because what happens is that gets beat into your subconscious. You're always thinking about it, right? I mean, if you get hit right away, if you get pressure, QB hit, something like that, it's gonna go through your mind. Now every time you go and drop back, you're always gonna be thinking about, okay, is my O-line gonna hurt, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the guys that look like they're close, they're really not close, right? And then they're like, all of a sudden he's rolling out and guys are like, why are you rolling out the pocket? Well, he just got sacked by a 330-pound man, and he don't want that to happen again, right?
Yeah, the center just got blown up on my lap. I wasn't even sacked by the nose guard. I was sacked by you falling into me. Like when it gets that bad, and I say this because I had to sit through and just watch Williams get murdered by the Texans. Like they brought 5. Just it didn't matter how great Caleb could have been.
It always goes back to the Bears. I mean, like
I'm sick. I mean, like,
can you blame me? Harrison, my goodness.
Yeah, then we get to the NBA season, and we're gonna hear ad nauseum about how the Lakers we shouldn't, hold a grudge against them for not being a finals team. But I'm gonna sit here.
LeBron might be MVP next year.
So should he win a finals?
Yeah, he's gonna be the best player in the world. He already proved that. But we're not here to talk about this.
You
Harrison.
brought it there.
We're not here to talk about this, man. Christian says, I think we all know the kind of person and player Dylan is. He will take licks and pressure as it comes and leave it behind him and play ball. Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen him. I believe it was UTEP game. His helmet came off. He got smacked. His helmet came off, and Heinrich went in the game.
Yeah,
he went right back in there and delivered, and I'm pretty sure he went down and scored. But he's
first touchdown pass. He took that. I mean, the live it looked worse because the UTEP. I can't remember if it was the defensive end or who got the pressure. But they let up a little bit at the end there. But Dylan still had to sit there and take it just in case he was still going to be coming at him full speed.
Exactly.
He took a hit, but UTEP was smart. Didn't want to get the flag. They laid off just enough, so no flag came. But it was the very first touchdown pass he threw. He took a hit.
Yeah. So this is the thing moving forward. I want people to realize what we have in a quarterback right now, and I feel as if we're not taking it for granted, but some people can, and I don't want anyone moving forward to take this for granted. What he's able to do on the field is secondary to what he's been able to do off the field. What's happening right now is because of internal values and an internal moral system that he has and character. Because I'm sorry, but if you're always getting mentioned in the media, positive and negative, we've seen people, commenting on this, and this about him and Patrick Mahomes and all that, and you know how I feel about that, right? And I'm sure everyone out there does. We just have to take in consideration that to find a person like that that can handle this type of commotion too. This is an NFL team. Nebraska's an NFL team. They're the 33rd NFL team, right? Why do I say that? The attention they get.
Yeah.
I've been to Arizona Cardinals games that fans don't even care about what's going on at the Cardinals games.
I was going to say, like, if you're a Husker football player, you'll get noticed faster than you would if you're in Arizona and you're an Arizona Cardinals player.
Exactly. And I have confirmation. My brother-in-law played there, had that experience.
And if you're out in California, nobody gives a damn if you play football.
Exactly.
Like, that's just the way it is out there.
Exactly. So when you're out here, I mean, everything is on you. He goes to a volleyball game, he gonna get a video and a picture put on the internet, right? If he goes out to eat, somebody's gonna take a picture with him. Like, so it's a completely different thing. The way he's able to handle that outside the game and not let it affect his study, his film, his preparation for the week, not let it get to his head. He, getting out there being arrogant in front of the media, Johnny Manziel, all this different stuff, right? It takes a really special person. So kudos to his parents, kudos to him for all these things. But now that we've established, like, man, this is our guy. Like Urban Meyer said it. He said the best friend of a young quarterback is a strong run game, and they've got a powerful run game. And he goes on to comment further that Dylan Raiola is the truth. Right? We got Urban Meyer saying this, right? And so when I talk about how Nebraska is going to win this game and run away with it, I don't believe they just want to win this game. I know Coach Rule goes in front of the media and says it's going to be a battle for 4 quarters, right? But I think he's telling the team, look, we want to dominate this team.
Have you been watching Chasing 3?
I haven't.
Okay, so those halftime locker room speeches, they're never, all right, guys, let's go out there and it's go bury them.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't just want to win.
Yeah, like who wants to win? I mean, but this is consistent with the preparation and the culture they're creating, right? They're creating a culture where the standard is a standard, no matter if we play UNI, UNLV, or Alabama, right? And UNLV's having a phenomenal year. They're
that goes back to the Kansas. How good is Kansas?
That's a great point. Anyways, get back on track. This now, if we get this win against Illinois, moving forward, we become, we beat Purdue. I say we wax Purdue. I think Colorado's better than Purdue.
Rutgers, Purdue are the games I feel best about.
Yeah. So we go, what is that? 6-0. We're 6-0 heading into bye week, I believe.
Well, no, we're 3-0 right now. Illinois 4-0.
Or 5-0. 5-0. And then heading into bye week, I believe, right after that. I mean, you're looking at top 14, top 13 in the country.
AP polls are garbage. I don't know.
How not?
I think Nebraska.
The top 25 teams are playing each other this week. Lot of them.
I'll say this much: I don't really give a damn until Ohio State, because that's what's going to decide everything in the.
Whoa, Harrison!
Is that a hot take?
You don't give a damn.
I guess I'm angry.
What do you mean?
It's so. If
you don't care about the AP polls,
yeah, they're just.
Well, I don't care about them, but
I'm just saying I'm not going to give a damn about the number until we can stay consistent. I don't care if it's 16, 18, 20, as long as we don't get pushed back after a win. Then I'll be actually upset. But this stuff just doesn't matter. I mean, look at Boston College. They were in the AP top 25 poll. They push Missouri, a top 10 team. They only lose by 6 points, and now they're out. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that I understand you have other undefeated teams. They played weaker opponents. They didn't play a top 10 ranked opponent, Missouri. They also didn't win that impressively, but you're going to slide them up and you're going to kick Boston College out. And then Notre Dame, how you lose to, and it's just.
Yeah, that is true.
It's just based on preseason presumptions.
Yeah.
And it's just like every week they throw everything out the window. I don't like it. There's zero consistency.
Boston College has a chance this week. I believe they play. I want to say they play Michigan State. Yeah,
let's find out.
I think they play Michigan State. And I believe, man, if they beat Michigan State right now is 3-0.
Yeah, they got Michigan State Saturday night game, 7:00
at Michigan. or at
I think it's at BC. Hold on, is that right?
I believe
at BC.
Okay, yeah. So I believe they're going to get in there, and I mean, the whole Northern Illinois situation is unfortunate, for them. I know they went and beat Notre Dame, but I mean, they're probably going to be out of there probably next. I mean, if you look at the difference between Nebraska and because Nebraska's what 22 or
22 right now.
22, and I believe Northern Illinois is 23. If you look at it, I mean, we're at like 260 or 290 points, and they're at like 160.
Yeah. So the way it goes right now, A&M, which again 2-1, somehow they're 25.
That's what I'm saying.
It makes no sense. It's broken.
Well, if you look at like from like I believe it's like 16 to 18, they're like all 2-1 teams. Is that right? Around there?
Yeah, you're looking at them. You got like teams. Boston College. Does UNLV have a loss yet?
3-0.
3-0. Okay, so they're undefeated. Syracuse, but you're still sitting with undefeated teams. But I think like if you are Boston College and you play Missouri, who is very good, who's looked very good, and you only lose by 6 points, how does that kick you out? Especially when you're going to put 2-1 Texas A&M in.
Yeah, it's these teams. It's the 16 through 18. It's the LSU, Notre Dame, and Michigan. And Clemson is 1-1, and they're 21, right? So it's like,
and as much as I like Nebraska, I'll be honest.
All right, chill out. Why are you doing this?
Colorado was not a good team, I don't think.
Why are you doing this?
It's the media. We can't just be like, hoorah, Nebraska. People hated us for that because we kept showing up with 3-win seasons. What, you want me to say Colorado is a really good team, so it's a good ranking? No, I think Nebraska can climb in the AP poll naturally because they're a good team. I do think they overcalculated how big of a win that was for Nebraska. It was a big rivalry win in terms of the AP poll. I'll say it. I don't think Colorado's a good football team.
This is what I have to deal with, guys.
Do you like disagree?
I come back for 2 days out the week, and Harrison already is starting up this stuff right here.
Yeah, Christian, I am 100% paid by the ops. That's why I picked Nebraska to beat Illinois 27.
Yes, he is paid. He is paid. He's paid to stir controversy right now. No, I'm kidding. You know who I really like out the ACC is Louisville.
I'll be honest, I haven't watched a ton of their games. I've seen the scores and the highlights.
I think
they look fun.
I think I hope Louisville and Clemson play each other here soon because I don't think Clemson is a top 25 team. They just did. I mean, the Georgia game. Did you? And then you go see Georgia against Kentucky, 13-14, down to the last drive. It's just an interesting year. And week 4 is when people get exposed.
Yeah, they do.
Week 4 is where people get exposed. You start getting the conference play. You start. We're not playing FCS teams anymore.
It's always week 2, and then that first conference week.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2 is always a big one because I love it. After week 1, again, I'm gonna off the AP poll. Shout out to everyone chiming in about the AP poll. But like week 1, everybody has their preseason assumptions that they're definitive. And then week 2, we look at the week 1 results and we're like, okay, I was 100% right about this, 100% wrong about this. Now we're set. Week 2 rolls around. Notre Dame loses to NIU. Like you have all this chaos going on. And then we're back to just throwing everything out the window.
I want to focus on some games that I think are going to shift the whole structure of the top 25. Specifically USC Michigan. I think SC probably beats them by about 14, 2 scores. They're favored a 5-point favorite right now. Okay. Yeah, look at me.
Yeah, I was just a degenerate looking for the spread already.
Game up. But anyways, what do you think? You think SC's gonna get it done, right?
Yeah, I do.
By confident.
I'd give him 7. I'd give him the spread.
Okay, 7 point. So if Michigan loses, now they're 2-2. They're out of the top 25.
Yes, they should be.
They should be, right? Notre Dame probably going to beat Miami. I mean,
okay.
No, Miami. The Ohio Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, not no. Cam Ward would probably dart them boys up.
Yeah.
So if Northern Illinois beats Buffalo in their conference, right? Are they going to keep rising? I mean, that's not going to give them much points, right?
Let's look at do they have anything really big left on their schedule?
No, this is it.
So this is the tough part. They have to win and cover the spread like every time.
The biggest game they have would probably be NC State. They have NC State.
Okay, so that's another big one. So yeah, they just got to stay perfect record. And now it's a 12-team playoff. if you look dominant enough, you definitely sneak in there.
Yeah, Joe Klatt does think Nebraska's underrated for who said that on YouTube? The other Dave. Appreciate you. Another
loves Nebraska. If I didn't know any better, he was alumni here.
Yeah, he might be a secret.
Took a class in online. Well,
Yeah.
he didn't have online classes like that back then.
Yeah. Georgia Tech, Louisville. I think Louisville probably smacks them. This is a big one. Utah, Oklahoma State.
Give me the
State-
Cowboys.
Give you Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the favorite, 2.5.
Most underrated program in college football year after year. I shouldn't say that because the people have
my
caught up.
Gosh, Harrison.
That's not even a hot take.
Most underrated football program.
I would say it's more accurate if I were to say this like 3 seasons ago.
What about underrated football program?
That's what I mean by Oklahoma.
What about
State.
Kansas State?
I meant Oklahoma State's underrated.
What about What about Kansas State is underrated?
I like that one. I'd have to look at the history, but like my recent memory serves me that they've definitely been underrated. But it feels like that's another one of the buzz is finally catching on.
Right.
But they're definitely in that conversation.
I actually like that. I think that's right. Okay, we got Missouri, Vanderbilt. I think Missouri is a 20-point favorite. Miami, South Florida, probably not. Tennessee, Oklahoma. Come on now. Tennessee is the favorite, and rightfully so. Oklahoma's had some struggles, I would say, running the football and quarterback play with their young guy. I don't know.
Yeah, man, they did not overly impressive. Just looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with Tennessee here.
Yeah. And so that shifts it. They're 3-1. I mean, you lose to Tennessee, you probably get bumped up to about, 18, 19, 20, I would say. And that's a perfect spot for Nebraska to slide in there. Ain't that right, Harrison?
Yeah.
Slide in there. Yeah. Ole Miss and Georgia Southern. Hey, come on now. Don't sleep on Georgia Southern. Don't sleep on them. Know this firsthand, Harrison. And then you got Kansas State, BYU. BYU is an interesting one. I mean, they're on the fringe of getting into this top 25. Kansas State's playing playing good football. Their running back, I mean, he already got 300 yards rushing, 50 carries though, of course. But I got a friend on BYU, number 5, Darius Laster. I'm going BYU. I'm not going to
disagree. I'll go BYU as well.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, they do got Indiana on that AP poll with 13 votes, which is surprisingly low, I think.
So 400 sellout.
Yeah.
School's canceled tomorrow.
Yeah. No high school football Lincoln teams in Lincoln tomorrow.
Really?
There'll be some game like out in Omaha. It's not like Nebraska.
Wait, so what they do? They just bye week? Or?
It'd be a great question, Nick Sainer. You can tweet at him, ask him.
What happened to?
There's still games, but they move it because this is not
move it to Saturday.
That or they play today. A lot of games play today.
Oh, Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Jeez. See, this don't happen nowhere. If I'm back home at in Arizona, ASU's 20 minutes from whatever. There's our high school game is probably bigger than ASU.
That's a wild thought.
No, seriously, our high school, our rivalry game, Chandler High versus Hamilton High, Arizona Ave. If you're from Arizona, you've heard of those two schools. In the height of those programs, we would get 12,000 at a game. 12,000. A parachuter would come in, fly on the field. I mean, there's DJs in each student section. It's incredible. All NFL players at the game, and nobody gives a what about what's going on tomorrow at ASU, right? Like they all come to this game. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because like here it's like the reverse. Well, I shouldn't say it's reverse. Everybody loves high school football, but we're talking about crowds of 100. You go to Omaha, Lincoln, obviously much bigger crowds, but you don't see anything crazy high school stadium wise here in Nebraska. Again, you can name some honorable mentions, but go out to Texas and reconsider.
Right.
And then it's just so you have like all these small pockets of people that just love football, love it to the point where it's like 8-man, 6-man. We'll watch. Like they don't care. Like 6-man is a little crazy. I don't never personally watch it, but I know it exists.
6-man. So you would have 2 linemen, quarterback.
I don't know enough how it works. I know you get out to Western Nebraska. I don't even know how many teams do it. I think you're automatically in the playoffs just for being one of the programs that do it. But yeah, and they'll still get everybody in their town showing up to watch. So there's such a love for football in smaller pockets, but all those small pockets create the craziest fan base.
I still
the
can't
best cathedral in college football.
I still can't get over 1,600 people living in a town.
I don't know what that's crazy about, man. How many people you need to run a town? And we had the county seat. I'll tell you that. We had the courthouse and everything. Big time. Big time.
Bruh, so before we get up out of here, my high school or my city that I lived in was like, so Phoenix, right? Everyone's heard of Phoenix, capital Arizona. Phoenix has like these like subdivisions, I should say. And they have like, you got Queen Creek, Gilbert, Chandler, Ahwatukee, Mesa.
That's what Omaha's starting to be like. They got Gretna and all these subdivisions of it branching out because Omaha's a huge city.
Exactly. But like each one of them has like, 300, 400, 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you said that, bro, even in Casa Grande, you almost got like 100,000 people in Casa Grande. It's middle of nowhere. That's like, where the cartel is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Think about all the opportunity,
1,600, bro.
And just hunting, fishing. You're just hanging out with the boys. It's a beautiful time. Shout out small towns.
Shout out to the small towns.
If I do it all over again, there's no way I'd want to live in a bigger city. I love Lincoln.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm 100%. Like as a kid, there's nothing beats that, man.
Really?
Yeah, because I think there's also part of it now where quarter century wisdom for the last just completely flipped it. But like I think there's part of it where, like, especially today, parents are got to be more worried than ever. Like, man, what are my kids doing? I hope they're all right.
That is true.
Like when you're out in a small town, when everybody kind of knows it, right? There's so much more freedom and security that like the parents trust you. You're just more responsible of everything you do, and there's more leniency on everything because it's so tight knit community.
Do you think you're like low key, like a little bit like disconnected from the world? So like the culture wise, like it doesn't affect y'all as much? Or am I thinking like y'all are like some like, like an Indian tribe or something?
I think a
little bit too much.
I don't know. Cause you go 20 years, 30 years back without all the technology, maybe.
Right.
I grew up in an era that like I was like, we're pretty much both 25. We kind of caught the split.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. Everybody I know from my all my friends are doing really well in life. Like they went on to big cities. Nobody had like freak out adjustment. They didn't look like crazy people.
Right.
They're just like normal dudes. Which is good work ethics. I don't know. I'll stay with small town.
They're just normal dudes.
Yeah.
Someone said back in the day we couldn't go home until street lights turned on. I love it. Drinking from the garden hose. You drank from the garden hose?
Oh yeah, we drank from the PVC pipe from football.
I know that had some that had something bad in it.
Well, it's PVC. It's plastic. Like it's is what it is. But yeah, you just they put the hose to it at the end of the PVC pipe. They seal up the other side. They just drill in a bunch of little holes. And then it's just like a sprinkler for football players. And everybody just goes in there.
Man, y'all producing some athletes. I believe, I forget where Borkacher's from. He used to tell me about his town. And I believe they had like a McDonald's and like a runs in a Taco Bell or something like that. Like that was like all they had. Or was it Austin Allen? It was one of those boys.
Let's find out where Nate Borkacher's from. It might have been Austin Allen. Borkacher's from Aurora, Nebraska, so it might have been him.
Is that right?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how big Aurora is, but I know it's not massive. It's not like a massive spanning city by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Russ Hochstein's from my 1,600 small town. One of the best to ever do it.
Who?
Russ Hochstein. Won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, played with Tom Brady, was on the starting offensive line.
Really?
Yeah, we got some dogs.
Where'd he go to college?
Nebraska.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, like and that's why people are so sensitive about the walk-ons. It's like you lose like some secret gems. Like there's some real hidden gems, some of the greatest to ever do it. And if you just, ignore those guys, you can catch some real gems out here in Nebraska. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me on my small town segment. Shout out Arlington. I wasn't expecting to go there, but that's where we end up. All right, Brewington, you got anything else before we go ahead and get out of here? So try to find this.
Nah, just if you're in the stadium, bring the energy, bring the good vibes. I'm predicting a blowout.
All right. Yeah, I'm predicting pretty close to a blowout. If you consider the spread plus some extra blowout, then yeah, I'm going the same way here. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Catch us possibly next Wednesday me and Chancellor Brewington might be on again for Ticket Weeknights. Hopefully we can talk about a Husker win. So appreciate you guys listening. That's going to wrap it up for Ticket Weeknights. We'll do it all over again next week. Talk to you later.